Spotify, they think them smart, but we're smarter. Them put a threshold in place. That's not really a threshold. It's a minimum sales quota.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna.
That's it. That's it.
DIY.
But I want to bring your attention to a clip from a gentleman named Lloyd Laing. He is a music brand strategist. Lloyd Laing is a seasoned music consultant with over 20 years of experience in the music industry. In this clip, he's drawing attention to some of the sneaky practices and some of the sneaky language of this whole Spotify threshold system. You know, we've done multiple videos on this channel about the Spotify threshold system, but if you missed it, basically Spotify announced some new changes that are occurring right now in 2024. One of those is instituting a threshold system that says you must reach a certain amount of streams before you get paid, regardless if you put your music up on their platforms or not. If it doesn't make a certain amount of money, you will not get paid. And then after that, some of those terms change once you meet that particular number. But the way that Lloyd Laing broke down what this actually is.
Spotify, they think them smart, but we're smarter. And the harder we look at this new Spotify threshold that them trying to put in place, we realize that them actually gaming the artists them and turning the tables almost 180 degrees. When Spotify started, it was supposed to be a space for independent, emerging and bootstrap artists to share and spread their music around the world and make a little money along the way. Now come 2024, them put a threshold in place. That's not really a threshold. It's a minimum sales quota.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna.
That's it. That's it. I was trying to figure out what the term was. Did you gather what he said? What Spotify is presenting is not just some threshold. It's a sales quota. Let's do a little bit more research on what a sales quota actually is. So I asked ChatGPT, like, what is a sales quota and how would it relate to this analogy? It said a sales quota is a target set by companies for their sales teams, their employees, or individual sales representatives, indicating the minimum amount of sales they are expected to achieve within a specific period. In the context of Spotify's payout rule, the comparison might imply that artists are required to reach a certain threshold akin to a sales quota in terms of streams or other metrics before they are eligible for payouts or before their payouts become substantial.
What Spotify is saying to us is that we have to make them $48 for the year before we get paid 1 cent.
$48, that ain't nothing. What, y'all broke boys can't do that? Nigga, they created the fucking model. They created the price point. The reason why it's so low for everyone across the board, well, I guess depending on how much you're streaming, is because they set the parameters. So if it's only $48, that doesn't mean it's worth $48. That means that's what they established it to be.
So if you don't make 1,000 streams or $4 worth of sales in this month, you won't be paid. But if you make $1 worth of sales next month on the same 1,000, then we'll pay you something.
Purposely make this confusing language so that you get so frustrated that you I feel like they have all of these conditions that must be met in order for you to even get the opportunity to get paid pennies. That's disgusting.
That makes no sense. The opportunity was for artists to share their music and make a little money on the way, not turn into salespeople with a minimum sales quota. As you can see, business and the game will not be regular and normal in 2024. So we have to come up with new ways, new methods, and find new opportunities to sell our music, rather than sell our music for another man before we get paid.
So much truth in this one.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
You better figure out how to get paid without having a middleman or having somebody else that does that for you. Well, there's an actual term for that called direct to consumer. I want to show you this video clip which brilliantly breaks it down in case you've never heard that term before. But direct to consumer is what a lot of artists are doing or have been doing for many of years. Names like Nipsey Hussle, names like Ryan Leslie, and it's been sort of the modern approach in independence to leveling the playing field. That hasn't been probably as important as it's ever been since streaming made its way into our space. It is so important now to go direct to consumer. It is no longer something that you can just think about if you plan on making money off of your art form. It's a shame how many rappers I talk to that have all of these side hustles because music ain't paying them shit. That's their words, not mine.
What is direct to consumer? This is direct to consumer.
In retail, a direct-to-consumer business is working directly with a manufacturer to make a product, or they might even be making the product themselves, and then they sell that product directly to the final customer. Now, in a non-direct-to-consumer business model, they'd sell that product to a retailer in between themselves and the customer. In e-commerce, direct-to-consumer business models, also known as DTC, brands like Everlane and Glossier are having tremendous success because they get to control the entire customer experience from end to end. Everything from photography to product to the whole experience online. They also get to keep more of the margin because they're not working with a retailer. That's direct to consumer.
To give you an example that will stick with you even more, direct to consumer is, for instance, Amazon. Amazon sells batteries from all kind of different brands, Energizer, Duracell, but they also have Amazon batteries. Amazon batteries cuts the middleman and the necessity to pay them some kind of royalty or some kind of split because it's their product and they own it. Amazon can say, well, we can bypass all that and put it for a cheaper price than all of them can. And you'll trust it from us because you know it's going to always be in stock. That is an example of direct to consumer. How does that look like for artists like ourselves? Direct to consumer for artists like ourselves, in turn, looks like websites like our own website, first of all, which should be the primary place that you're building all your energy towards. But if you're not at that stage yet, it's websites like Bandcamp, more modern websites like Even, there's websites like Hard Drive. There are websites out here who have set themselves up to make sure you don't need to have a large retailer like a Spotify in order to communicate with your audience. There's a shitload of benefits that comes along with it. And I also want to break that down based upon a conversation with good old ChatGPT. Y'all better get on this. I said, what is direct to consumer as a business model, specifically as it relates to independent rappers? This is what it said to me. Direct to consumer as it relates as a business model to independent rappers means that you're selling music, merchandise, and other products, directly to your fans without the involvement of traditional intermediaries like record labels, distributors, or retail stores. This approach offers several advantages. Higher profit margins. By bypassing the middleman, independent rappers can retain and profit from each sale. Customer relationships. You have direct interactions with fans that can lead to a stronger relationship. Creative control. Artists maintain full control over their creative output, branding, and how their work is marketed and sold. Data and insights, which is the one that I stand on the strongest about all of this stuff with Spotify and any music streaming website. Direct sales provide valuable customer data, such as emails.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no business on this earth that I know of that can exist without a freaking email list. This shows to me, these companies, how little they take the seriousness of your business as an independent artist. I think they have creatives all in the same category as people who can't do what we can do. I don't think there's respect for creatives from a lot of these companies. I won't speak for all of them. But to me, the biggest slap in the face is for you to make me feel like I have fans and listeners, but I don't even have any kind of data points, any kind of data that I can use to communicate with them offline off of your website. You own their data. You own my data. And matter of fact, when I tried to delete my page, they told me they couldn't delete my page because it's in the terms of service. Agility and flexibility. Without contractual obligations to labels or publishers, independent rappers can quickly adapt to market changes and fan feedback. Community building. Direct selling often involves community engagement where fans feel that they're part of an artist's journey, fostering a sense of belonging and higher levels of support. In practice, for independent artists, this might involve selling music directly through their own websites like Bandcamp, offering merchandise like apparel, physical media, CDs, vinyls, and exclusive experiences, hosting live shows or virtual concerts, and selling tickets directly to fans. Who does that sound like? Providing subscription-based content through platforms like Patreon or creating a membership model on their own site. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build a business where your product is music. I want to draw your attention to this video. It's a funny video. It's not meant to be taken serious. I know this, right? I even see I see folks that I didn't work with. Shout out to D1. However, I draw issue with the premise of it because it says I'm an independent artist. You'll understand why when you watch this video. Watch this.
I'm an independent artist. Of course I gotta pay to perform. I'm an independent artist. I just uploaded the song 2 days ago. Of course it's not on Apple Music yet. I'm an independent artist. I just got a random picture with Lil Baby And of course, I'm going to post it and say, we working. I'm an independent artist. I ain't get the numbers I wanted on my Spotify rap, so of course I had my man's Photoshop it. I'm an independent artist. I ain't got no money. Yeah, I do the feature for 200. Be Cash App and PayPal ready. I'm an independent artist. Of course I rip beats off YouTube.
I know this video was meant to be something funny, but I think categorizing this as independent artists is problematic because there's people who believe there's a thin line between an independent artist and an up-and-coming artist. Those two are not the same. An up-and-coming artist does shortcuts. That's what they do. An independent artist knows that you're a business and shortcuts could be the death of your business. Every single one of these examples, he said, I steal my beats off of YouTube. No, when you're an independent artist that takes your business serious, you make the investment into the producers because you understand how important that is to the entire bottom line to have great production that supports your business of selling audio. I know I'm the person that's killing a joke right now. I hate to be that, but I gotta be for this example. Categorizing it that way is a reason why these companies don't respect anything that we do. When they see that we don't even take ourselves seriously, why in the hell would a company provide us emails, provide us data? Y'all don't send emails out. You niggas is stealing beats off YouTube. Y'all don't even properly upload your main product the right way. Man, you ain't worried about getting paid from me. Matter of fact, threshold on that ass. This is the problem. When we don't look like we take our own business serious and we don't take our own business serious, other people start to reflect that. The goal of this, you would think, for most of us who get into making music, even if your goal is to be signed, it's to eventually become independent. It's to eventually learn so much by being underneath somebody else's wing that you can create something of your own, because now you have the income, you have the experience, you have the notoriety, you have the relationships. You can now do that. One last video, back to our friend. He expresses some information here dealing with the way that physicals are now going to be delivered when it comes to the Billboard charts.
Powers that be have decided them going to screw us right out of the gate. This time around is the gangbang them call Luminate and Billboard who have decided that they're going to change the way in which they report our physical sales. Now, here are them plan on doing it now. Luminate collects physical sales data in North America and Canada from about 550 to 600 mom and pop record stores and big box outlets. That information is passed to Billboard, who then through some special alchemy create the charts that we chat about every week. Now, this is what they plan on doing. Luminate is only going to take the report from 7% of that store network of 550. Just 7%.
These niggas is wild. Hey, this is wild. Okay, if you didn't catch that, he's talking about companies that are responsible for reporting numbers to Billboard. I believe the company is Luminate. They're responsible for taking the data that they receive, because there are still mom and pop stores that sell music physically all around the world. They're responsible for tracing all these things that are linked to a UPC code that helps you to track what an album is selling digitally, what it's selling on vinyl, what it's selling on CD. Of the 550 stores that still exist as this traditional model, Luminate is only going to report about 7%. Of what the hell are we talking about? 7% of what those actual sales are to Billboard. Therefore, skewing this Billboard situation more in the advantage of who was originally designed for, signed artists, major label artists. They have done such a mind fuck on artists. They will make you believe that you have full-on independence and creative freedom simply because you can upload to these websites whenever you want to. What you don't realize is that they have their hands as investors, as people who reap the benefits of their investment simply by providing catalogs to these websites, to these streaming websites. Spotify has 3 major labels right now that claim 70% of their income because they provide them the heavy hitters, the big artists. You could say, I only listen to Curtis King because I rock with independent artists. I don't really rock with that mainstream shit like Taylor Swift and Drake. Yet and still, Taylor Swift and Drake, because they represent more of the pie that the pie system is distributed to, they make more money off of my music being on Spotify and your music being on Spotify than you do on your own music. That sounds like you're an employee. That's what it feels like to me. If you have no problem with that, and this is not the way that you see it, that's fine. I'm giving you my perspective. Now, in turn, it is very difficult to be 1,000% independent. But when you start seeing the way that these connections are and it doesn't sit well with you, you're forced to make some kind of a decision. Either you're not bothered by it and you move on with your life, Or you start to look around and say, maybe I remove my music from streaming. That's what I decided to do. And in turn, in doing that, all I keep seeing is how valuable my music is, because all I'm doing is releasing endless flows of content, doing shows from my house, and I'm seeing those Bandcamp numbers. Sales, singles, CDs, USB cards. People are paying what they want. It sounds like to me, if you really want to dice it down, you niggas don't want to work. Y'all don't want to do the work of having a business. It's way too easy to just cook up, get some vibes, go viral. Who gives a damn if you don't got emails? You got to check. I, for one, as I go direct to consumer, refuse to play that game anymore. If we're going to get paper, we're going to get paper. But we're not going to play business. And I'm not going to let nobody play business with me. Those are my thoughts, though, DIYers. Let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.